Good morning and welcome to my channel. My name is Arjun Singh Rana and in today's video I'll be explaining you how to create a proper authentication system. So as you can see that we have been tasked with the creation of an app for user sign up and sign in. So example one says that functionality user can either sign up or sign in before this he can't visit the home page. If a user is already logged in, they cannot sign up again. After sign up or sign in, redirect the user to the main screen. Now, it simply means that the user can either sign up and sign in, and if the user already exists, then it should give us the pop-out that the user already exists, and he should log in instead of sign up. And after that, after the whole process is done, he should be redirected to the home page, and this is how should the home page should look like. So after that, the second example says that allow a new user to create an account if account is already created. Show that already a user login, please. So yes, this is the same functionality that I just talked about. Now, if we created a user or we sign up with a new user and then we try to sign up with that same user, then it should also give us the pop-up that again sign up with the same user and it should say that already a user, please log in. So this is how we are talking about. Now, if and the user already exists, then the user should log in, and after logging in, he or she should be directed to the home screen. So as you can see that, let's existing user login. So it is allowing us for the existing user to log in to their respective accounts. And if their credentials are wrong, like we are asking for email and password, and if either of those two are incorrect, then it should say that email or password are not valid. So this is the how the validation and would work for a user. And after the if the login process and sign up process goes well, he or she should be dynamically redirected to the home page. So coming to my code, as you can see that this is my code over here. So as we know that if we come to our assignment, it also shows us the option like already a user, then login, and if we click on login, then she would be directed to this login page. And if the user is a new user and wants to create a new account, then there should be an option for sign up, like create new account and then sign up. And if the user clicks on the sign up, then it should be redirected to the back to the sign up page. So these redirections and redirecting of page is being handled by our React library, which is React Router DOM. So first, to use the React Router DOM, first we need to change our directory to the our current React app directory, and then we write the command which is npm I React Router DOM. So it will install our React DOM into our current React app project. After that, what we need to do, we need to declare our app.js as the router of the whole project. So what the router does that it lets the React know that okay, this can route. So how do we use the router? We first import our browser router as router from the respective library, which is React router, and then inside of index.js, we wrap our app component inside the router. Uh, as you can see, the router component. So we have wrapped our app inside our router. So it makes the app enables the app to route us or redirect us to wherever whatever action we are performing. Now coming to the app.js, when we come to our app.js, then there are two more elements that are in play for the redirecting purposes. One is the routes, which enables or which tells the app that where it can sorry which part to which parts or to which component it can route. And then comes the route which specifies that where to route, and if the specific part is applied in the URL, then what which in which direction to route or which component to render, we can say that. As you can see that we first created a wrapper class routes, And of course, we need to import routes and route both from the React router DOM. And inside my routes, we specify the path. If it means that if the URL is ending with this string, then it should be then the user should be redirected to this component. If the and all of this is being done inside a single component, which is our route. And if the URL is ending with for /login, then users should be redirected to the login component, and similarly for home. So these are the paths that are unique to each and every component, and if the URL is ending with these paths, then the user would be redirected to these. User will be redirected to these components. Now coming, let's go to our sign up form. So in the sign up form, let me just show you what elements are included. So this is our sign up form that I just created. So as you can see that there is a card, then there is a heading, and then there is a label, username, then the input field username, and the label is linked to this input field, which shows that enter your username. Then comes the password label, and similarly, this label is linked to this input field, which shows enter your password. Then phone number, similarly for phone number and email address, and then there is a sign up button. And then just a second. Uh, then there is a sign up button, and then there is a redirection link which says that if you are already a user, then click on it over here and it would redirect us to the login page. Now coming back to the sign up page, this is the return command. As we can see that the return commands all these elements that I just talk about, and also this login text. As you can see that login text is wrapped inside my link tag. And what link tag does is that it helps us whenever we click on the element which is wrapped inside our link tag, it would change the URL's path to the path which is mentioned over here, and then automatically it would route us to that specific component. So that's how all of it is working. Now coming to the main logic of this sign up form. Now to store the user information, I am using local storage of the whole website. There are two types of storage, which is local storage and session storage. Now the main difference between local storage and session storage is that the local storage holds permanent data, or the data which is being used constantly or most frequently, and this session storage is a temporary data kind of storage, which stores the data temporarily and it automatically deletes the data after the set amount of time. So that is the main difference between local and session storage. Now coming to the main logic. So first, as we can see that my input fields and login button, all of this is inside my form element. And inside my form element, as you can see that I'm using this use state data to store my users information. As you can see that there's the variable which we will use for storing and accessing our data. So data is that, and this is the data setter function inside the use state. So as you can see that the default value of our use state would be an object, and object would contain the properties which are like user, which would be a key value pair, and the keys would be like user, pass, num, and made. And for all these keys, the default value would be the empty string. After that, coming to the input field, how are we exactly storing it inside our data? So as you can see that if we come to the input field, you can see that I am using an event listener which is on change, which triggers whatever function is written inside it whenever it detects there is a change within its respective element, or within the element it is being used in. So if we type something on our input field, this event listener on change would detect it, and it would then trigger this arrow function which takes the input as E. Now E is the what is E? So let's say all the form elements contains their own object, and then what we are doing, we need to extract whatever value the user is putting from its value section, because the whatever data is being put inside my input field, it is automatically stored inside my value attribute. Now I need to get that value. So how am I doing that? I am saying, let's say the object of this input field be E. Okay. So after that, what I am doing is that I'm using the setter function data. I'm using the setter function set data to update my data use state. And inside of it, as you can see that I'm passing an object. What does the my object contains? My object first contains my destructured data. So as you know that data currently holds these values, so it would be destructured, and it would what do we mean by destructuring? It would take each and every key value pair out of that object and place it inside of this new object that we are creating. And after that, as we know that this specific input field was for the user, so what I am doing is that I'm again using the same key user. So it means that first we would get my default value from my previously, or you can say that my previous value from the data itself, because of the spread operator, and spread operator would restructure it. And after that, I'm using the same key, so it means that it would update the previously existing keys previous value. So with this new value, as you can see that, as I told you, to get our value from our input field, what we do that, as we know that E is our object, so E contains a another object which is target, and target contains multiple attributes like ID, key, value. And we know that the data entered by the user inside my input field is stored inside my value attribute. So to get that value, I used E dot target dot value to get my attribute, and it would then update it to my data use state. So that's how all of the storing of this whole temporary storage of the whole form is taking place. Now to permanently store it, what I am doing is that I am waiting for the user to click on my submit button or sign up button. So this is the sign up button. Now, what happens in the form, whenever a user clicks on the button, then the form consider that button action as the submit action. So I am using my on submit event listener inside my form element, as you can see that on submit. So it means that whenever the user clicks on the sign up button, then what would happen is that the user would be that the form would trigger this on submit event listener. So because that button click is considered as a submit button, so after that it would click on handle, it would initiate this handle input function. So as you can see that this is my handle input function that I have defined. So another behavior that the form does on the clicking on of a button is that when it is clicked, the form completely refreshes itself. So to prevent that, as I told you, each and every form element contains an object, and their own object contains multiple key value pairs, and some of them are functions as well. So for us to prevent these refreshing of the whole page on an instant, when the user clicks on the submit button, there is a function which is prevent default inside my object. So as you can see that the handle input would take the object of the whole form, and it would then use this function which is e dot prevent default, which is stored inside my forms object. So what would happen that it would prevent this default behavior of refreshing the whole page whenever the user clicks on the submit button. Now coming to the main storage of our user data. So as I told you, the I'm using the local storage of the web browser to store my users data for that particular site. Now, as we know that there were some steps we need to check if the new user is creating the same account twice. So then we need to return a prompt saying that there is a already user, pre-existing user with this same email. So please log in. So how are we doing that? So first of all, to store, let me show you how I'm storing the value. I mean, how we store the value inside our local storage. So there is a function known as local storage that dot set items, and what is does that it takes two parameters, and which is our key and value, and it is strictly said that these two parameters, keys and values, should always be in string format, not in any other kind of format, not an integer, not an object, or not an array. So it is strictly saying us that we can only store our data inside our local storage in the form of key value pair, and the key value pair should be strictly in string format. So as you can see that I'm using that only. So now coming to my previous task that I was talking about was that the same user cannot sign up twice. So how am I doing that? So, for storing my users' data, as we also know that the login page asks us for email ID and password. So, what I am doing is that I am creating a key using my email ID, user's email ID, and what my value for that particular email would be holding is the my user's whole object, which would store, which contains user, pass, num, and mail. So that's how I'm storing my users data. So key would be the user's email, and its respective value would be the object that we are creating inside a use state. So now you might be wondering, how am I if the local storage only allows the string value to be stored inside the any keys value. So how am I doing that? So to store, as you can see that I'm using the local storage.set function. Inside of it, I am passing inside my backtick quotes. So as you can see that this would convert my data.mail into my string format, because these backticks basically represent my string data type. But the special function is that we can access any strings value you inside my backtick using this syntax, which is dollar sign, then my curly braces, and within the curly braces, whatever variable I mentioned, I would be able to access its value. So what would happen is that first, these backticks would access this data dot mails value, and then after that, it would these backticks would convert that into my string. Now coming to the value that it would be holding, there is a specific function known as the JSON.stringify, which converts any type of data like array, hash map, array object, and any other data into the string format. So how it would convert into the string format is that, let me just show you. So this is our object. If we applied JSON.stringify on it, then what would happen is that it would convert it to string like this. As you can see that this is the whole string, including the curly braces, the semicolon, this comma. This all is a string. So this is how I'm using my JSON.stringify to convert the whole object into my string, and after that I'm extracting the data from that string by first reverting that string into its original state, which was the object. So as you can see that I'm using json.stringify to convert my data into my string. Now coming to the validation part, that the same user cannot sign up twice. So how am I doing that? So let's say if a user has already logged in, then its value should exist inside my local storage, right? And if the user is completely new and is logging in for the first time, then what should happen is that if we try to get its value from our local storage, then what would happen, that the local storage doesn't contain any values with that email, so it should provide us null value. So on that basic logic, I am doing my authentication process. So as you can see that, first, inside my function handle input e, first I am preventing my form's default behavior. After that, I am using an if condition. So what my if condition is doing, it is making use of the function which is local storage dot get item. So what get item does that, if we specify any key inside my get item function function's parameter, then it would return me its respective value. And if there is no key value pair with the key as the specified key inside my parameter, then it would by default return null value. So as you can see that I am simply checking for that, which is local storage dot get item. It would first check if there is already a pre-existing key with this same mail. If it is not existing, then what would if it is existing, then it would simply negate this if function, and it would go to this else function which says that alert, which means that it would pop out a message which is saying that a user with this email already exists, please log in. And if we are getting null after calling this function, it means that we are getting this user is completely new. So we have to store its value inside our local storage. So how are we doing that? As I told you, we are using making use of this command line which is local storage set item, and then using the backticks to access my data.mail, and then storing it as a key, then storing the data object after converting it into the string using by using JSON.stringify. And after that, I am simply prompting the user that okay, now you have saved the data successfully. Now please log in. So this is just a safe procedure to redirect the user from login. Sorry, not login. He should be redirected to the home page. So home page. Just a second. Home page. It's right. No, it's a home page. So yeah, after this is being done, I also forgot to mention about I'm using the dynamic routing over here. So what dynamic routing is that it redirects the user on the basis of a user's input. So it is not a static routing. Now static routing is the part where the routing is hard coded. But if we want the user to be directed on the basis of the user's action, then we use dynamic routing. So to use dynamic routing, first we need to import use navigate from a React router DOM, and then we store this function inside a variable. As you can see that I'm storing this use navigate function inside my nav variable. After that, to use the dynamic routing, what we need to do is that we simply call that variable and pass the URL or the pass the ending path for a specific component inside the curly braces. So what would happen that first it would the if condition is satisfied, then it would store our data. Then the alert message would pop out, and after that, because it is the line by line execution, this function would be initiated. And as we know that it is storing our use navigate function, so it would dynamically redirect us to this home page to the component with the path with the ending path as home page. So that is how I am dynamically routing. So the basic concept over here was that if the user is new, we will store its data. We will prompt the user that okay, your data has been stored. So after the storage is done, what would happen is that we would redirect it to the home page. Now after redirection of the home page, he would be redirected to the home page, and this is my home page. Now let me just show you how it's working. So let's say our name was dfdf, and well, let's say our password was 123, and let's say phone number is something like this. It doesn't matter. And let's say our email address was sf@gm.com. It's just random values. So as we know that this is our new user. So if we click on sign up, it would show us the it should show us the prompt that welcome. So if I click on it, okay, so I first need to clear my browser data. Just a second. So as you can see that this is our just a second, let me just expand it. So this is our browser's local storage. As you can see that this is the local storage inside of it. It is storing the data for this particular site, which is my local host 301. So it is also specifying which site's data we are storing in my local storage. So as you can see that I have I've previously already created key with the sfg@gm.com, and its pre-existing value is over here. As you can see that because of this stringify function, I'm able to store my complete object in it. So this is how the storing would be done. Now to clear it, what we do is that this is how I'm clearing it. There is another function. If we call it inside my console, which is like, just a second, which is local dot clear, and this. So this function would clear my local storage completely. So now if we try to log in again, it should give me the correct pop out, which should be the details has saved successfully. Now if I click on my OK, that dynamically routing variable which stores my use navigate function or hooks, you can say, would get activated, and it would redirect me to the home page after clicking this OK button. So as you can see that I have been redirected to my home page. And yes, this is my homepage after being successfully signing in. So now if I try to again sign up with those same details, 123 was my password, my phone number was something like 757575, and my email was sf@gmail.com. So as we know that this user already exists in our database or local storage, so it should now should give me the prompt that the user already exists. Please log in. So as you can see that a user with this email already exists, please log in. And after that, now we should go to the login page. So this is my login page. So this is my login page, and it holds pretty similar components or elements in comparison to the sign up page. So as you can see, right, the heading login, then email, label with its respective email input field, then password, and similarly for that, then the login button, and then exactly the same prompt, but opposite of it, like new user, then the user should be redirected to the sign up page by clicking on this. So as you can see that I'm being redirected to the sign up page. But now we know that we need to log in because we have already signed up. Now what we do, I'll show you how the login one is doing its processing. So this is my login page. I won't go through the elements of it, but I'll show you how the processing of the login page is being done. So as you can see that I created inside my when we click on the login button, I similarly to the sign up form, I also created a function which is handle output, which would get triggered by my event listener on submit, which I'm using inside my form tag. So similarly, if the user clicks on login button, then the form should consider it as my submit action. So it would consider it as my submit action, and then the submit event listener would get triggered, and it would initiate this function handle output. So what my handle output is doing. So again, I'm using a use state to locally store or temporarily store my the data that is being entered by the user inside these two fields. So as you can see that now the currently the default value has only two key value pairs. One is main and one is pass, and the default value is empty string over here. Now again I created another. I also used dynamic routing over here because when the user should log in inside my page, then should he or she should be directly be redirected to the my home page after the login process is has been successfully done. So that's why I use my use navigate over here, and it is stored inside my navi variable. Now inside my function, as you can see that I again use my prevent default function. Now here comes the main authentication part. So, as I told you previously, if a user is new and it is entering its email ID, and if we try to, and we have created, and we know that the local storage holds the key value pair, and the key for every user is her or his email address. So, if we try to get the if we try to get the value, and if it returns null, it means that it is a new user. So similarly, we have done the same thing over here. If local storage dot get item, this is the data that the user is entering inside my login page. So if it returns null, it means that it is a completely new user. So it would alert the user saying that email or password is not valid. Okay, so I'm also doing my email and password validation over here. So okay, I forgot to mention about one more thing. Just a second. Okay, yeah. So the prompt was a bit wrong. That's why I got confused. So yeah. So first, if the email exists, then it would go to this if condition. If the email doesn't exist, it means that if we try to get the value of the key of the key and it returns null, it means that the user is new. So it would alert the user saying that email is not valid. Please check your credentials or please sign up. It means that it is also prompting the user if you are a new user, then please sign up with a new account. So after that, if the user already exists and it completely returns our a whole object, in the string format, then it means that the user existed and we have previously stored its data inside our local storage. So now we know that the user is the pre-existing user, or the old is a old user, not a new user. So now we need to verify if the email ID and the password entered by the user is correct or not. So how are we doing that? So first we are getting the value from the email, from the key with this same email as entered by the user. And what we are doing, that we are reverting that string object, that object that we converted to string back to its object data type by using JSON.parse. So this JSON.parse reverts the action of the JSON.stringify. So after the my object is reverted back to its object data type, I'm storing it inside my obj variable. Now we know that in the login page, we are getting things, which is email and password. Now we need to just cross verify if email and password are correct or not. So what we did, that we first use data.mail, which is the current input by the user, and then we are using a triple equal to compare the two things. One is our current input, and second was our previously saved input inside, which was saved inside our local storage. Uh, which was saved inside our local storage and now currently is stored inside my obj variable. So if my current email and my current email and the email stored inside my local storage is equal, it means that the email is correct. Similarly, what we are doing it for password. So data.pass triple equal to object.pass. So this is representing my current password that is being entered by the user, and this represents my password that is stored inside my local storage. Now, if both of these are correct, it means that the authentication process is successful. And now the user should be greeted with the alert message saying that welcome, that then the user's name. And then we are using the dynamic routing to route our user to the home page. After that, if the either of two or if both of them are not correct, then it would simply alert the user saying that alert email or password not valid. So that's all how it is working. Let me show you practically. So let's say I am using I am also going to show it side by side what the current data my local storage is holding. Just a second. So currently my local storage is holding a value with the key as this email, and this is its value. So if we write some new email, like for example, my new email, just a second, my new email is something like this. So as you can see that the local storage currently do not hold this value, and we write some random password, and if we try to log in, it is saying us that giving us the prompt, email is not valid. Please check your credentials or please sign up. So it is saying that we are a new user, so either sign up, and if you are you know that you are a pre old user, then please check your email. So we know that this was a completely new email. Now if we try to sign up with the pre-existing email or the email that we have used to already sign up previously, and the password was 123. So now no, let's just for the first time, let's enter the wrong password. Let's say 1234. Okay, so 4 was not included in our password previously when we signed up. So now it should give me a prompt. As you can see that it is saying that email or password is not valid. Now if we write the right password, which was 123, as you can see that inside my value as well, the password is 123 that was stored. So now it should redirect me to the home page. So as you can see that it is saying that welcome DFDF. So this was the username. So as you can see that this is our username inside my local storage. So it is saying that welcome DFDF. Now if we click on OK, as you can see that it has successfully redirected to me to the home page. Now also I added a functionality of sign out. So as you can see that sign out. Now you might be wondering, now if I click on sign out, why am I redirected to login page, not sign up page? Because if a user is signing out from the home page, it means that the user has already created his account, and then the user do not need to create its whole account, a whole new account. So what the user need to do is, if we want to come back to the login page, to a home page, then after clicking on sign out, he should be redirected to the login page because the user is already created. Now he or she would only use its her or his email and password to come back to my home page. So that's how my authentication process of the sign up and login process is being done along with the dynamic routing. You can find the Git repository link for this whole project inside the YouTube, inside the description of this video. Well, that's all, and thank you so much.